Hey, isn't it strange how there's this group who can seemingly control real people's decision making by presenting fictions? They can control the entire world using fictional counterfeit versions of things. Some examples are names, right? What's your name? That's a program, right? I wasn't born with a name. Okay, I was granted one from my parents, right? But then they made this legal fiction. So that legal fiction actually influences real people's decision-making processes. Another one is loans, right? We sign the application and they collateralize that and they make it into an asset and they say it's a debt on our side. I mean, through our signature. So our signature was the value, and they're doing a bunch of bullshit, and then we end up getting why can't I just go and use my signature to conduct commerce then? Why do I need all of those middlemen? What is the purpose aside from them reaping all of the benefit at my expense? Probably don't need to be doing that. But, right, this fictional thing of a loan controls our decision-making process. How about the loan itself? What do they give me? I'm sure they give me money, right? Silver or gold? No. They give me Federal Reserve notes? What the fuck is that? Seriously, what is that? It's a fiat currency. So it's another fiction that gets entire countries to influence their decision-making process. So I guess I'm just fascinated with this idea that we have consciously or unconsciously allowed ourselves to be subjects to a literal world of fiction. And then when the truth comes on scene, it automatically just disrupts everything and destroys everything it touches because the construct that it's in cannot compensate for the truth. So we have a situation where we're totally controlled by fictions, and the people that actually do tell the truth get completely destroyed because the decision-making processes of the people who are swept up in the nonsense and in the lies and in the brainwashing are actually attacking the people that are capable of helping them from the very detriments that they experience on a daily basis. So it's a very weird thing that they have going on, but I guess all I'm saying is if you can tell somebody's telling the truth, like with your heart space, like maybe try to help that person gain whatever it is that they're trying to do, because they're only trying to help make the world a better place. And if that means that certain entire industries go away and other people and they have to find new jobs, well, guess what? We never needed a job in the first place because, again, that signature that we signed on the loan application paid for whatever asset we were going for, because God does exist and because Jesus is the surety for all debts. So everything has been prepaid, and we have been contracting in a way that is incompetent and is also in alignment with false doctrine, okay? False prophets. Beware false prophets. Later. I wanted to just explain this really fast. It was very interesting to me. I'm making some connections internally, and it seems that at a certain level of consciousness, the upper echelons of power are actually responding to one's consciousness, not the other way around, right? Like, it seems to me they're responding to me, not me responding to them, as much as they would have it be that way. And when we know that, we kind of begin to like know and understand what it means to be the great I am presence, right? And we each are this. Now, here's a good example of how this may manifest itself and why I am so interested by this. So I got slapped with 5 criminal charges, and I overcame them because I didn't give up, and the only way you can lose is by accepting a plea deal. So by being prepared to go all the way to trial and show all of the evidence, because it was malicious prosecution, none of the warrants were of proper form, right? This is called the charging instrument. It needs to have a certain way about it. There needs to at least be a signature on it, for example, right? Anyway, there needs to be people that are signing off and have the liability for the instrument that is being used as the foundational basis for a legal case. The charging instrument needs to be in proper form. Or they need to amend it afterwards per the statutes, right? Which Anyway, point is, I was looking at probably going to jail for not harming anybody, right? And actually being the victim of federal crimes. Okay, by the police, the prosecutor, the clerk, the judge, the other judge, right? The other policeman, the sergeant that came up, that policeman. Many people have a lot of liability in this particular case. My point is, the last offer, right? The prosecutor gave the last offer and said, hey, you know what? I will drop these charges if you just agree to this one, and we won't go to trial. And I laid on my bed, and I was like, you know what? If I have to go to jail under these circumstances, I guess so be it. I just can't consciously make a decision against my best interest out of fear. I couldn't do it. And so I laid on my bed and I stared at the ceiling, and then all of a sudden she dismissed all 5 of her own cases. And because I refused to give up and to give in and to cowardly accept a deal that is not in my best interest, because I refuse to do all of those things, guess what I'm seeing now? I'm seeing everybody is very aware that the license plate is a credit card. I'm seeing everybody getting away from the social security number use and competently contracting under a trust for themselves. I'm seeing everybody completely reject the idea of traffic court in the first place and recognize it now as a quasi-civil venue and just plain fraud upon the court and amongst the people. And it's just a very unconstitutional, treasonous thing in the first place. And I'm seeing people challenging banks. I'm seeing so much. So I guess my word of encouragement for you is, like, if you don't give up, if you don't compromise yourself, the world around you will actually grow in that direction too. And even if they try to stop you, the world will continue to grow. If it is the case, right, that we are individualized and if we cease to exist, the world continues. If that's the case, it will continue to propagate in that same direction. But if it is the case that the true upper echelons of power are responding to our consciousness, because our consciousness is actually the progenitor of the entirety of the reality which we experience, then it would be counterproductive for them to try to eliminate or unalive someone like us. The only thing they can do is get us to unalive ourselves, which would then free them from the bondage as well, right? So it's kind of like the Covenant from the game Halo. We're up against this enemy that wants to commit, like, societal suicide. Everybody. They want everybody to just, right, be taking, they don't want to be, so they have to get us to kill ourselves so that they can be free from the jobs that they have to do, which is cause us unrelenting amount of torment and hell. That's got to be exhausting for them. No wonder why they're doing what they're doing. Hopefully this was at least entertaining. And yes, my message to you, even if this was all gobbledygook and nonsense and you think I'm just rambling and sounding like a crazy person, if nothing else, please absorb this message. If you don't give up, you will be rewarded.